What useful materials have resulted from nanomaterial research and what could be produced in the future? What is the current theory relating to this topic? Well, many new nanomaterials have been made and created in the past few years. From them, many new inventions such as food packaging, and better lithium-ion batteries were made. First of all, nanofood. Nanomaterials are being tested to improve food packaging materials to greatly improve shelf life. Bottles are being made with nanocomposites that restrict CO2 from escaping, therefore improving the lives of carbonated drinks, without using expensive materials such as heavy glass. Silver nanoparticles are being embedded in food containers to eradicate any bacteria from previous food stored. Carbon nanotubes. Researchers are trying to implement silicon-coated carbon nanotubes to extend the lifetime of lithium-ion batteries 10 times the normal amount. Nanotubes are grown on graphene and are used as electrodes that have very high surface area and very little electric resistance. They're also being used as catalysts in fuel cells, replacing platinum, therefore significantly reducing the price. Nanofibers. Nanofibers are being developed for several medicinal purposes, such as capturing several individual cancer cells. Nanofibers are coated with antibodies that bind to these cancer cells and that are used to stimulate the cartilage. However, that's not the only use for nanofibers. That can also be used in other fields. For example, they're developing lithium sulfur batteries where the cathode contains sulfur with nanofibers to encapsulate the sulfur. This battery can store up to 10 times what a normal lithium-ion battery can hold. So, how has our understanding of this topic changed over time? Nanotechnology is a very recent topic in terms of scientific research. Pre-modern examples. So, we have some pre-modern examples such as the Lycurgus cup, where it reflects different light depending on how the light is shone upon it or from within it. So if the light is inside the Lycurgus cup, it reflects red light, but if it's shown on from the outside of the cup, it's a very dark green light, as you can see on the diagram. Also, another pre-modern example is the stained glass windows. They are used for, they have small nanomaterials that give them a different color. But perhaps the first example of modern nanotechnology was Michael Faraday's ruby gold. It demonstrated that the gold particles on the nanoscale reflected a different color of light because of the size. And that is because of the sea of the delocalized electrons are smaller, therefore reflect a different light of the EM spectrum. The field emission microscope and the semiconductor transistor are among the first time in human history we started harnessing the power of nanotech. For example, the microscope allowed us to see objects we couldn't previously see because they were too tiny for light to reach. And the first semiconductor paved the way for modern computer systems. The first nanomaterials we created were quantum dots, buckyball, and of course the carbon nanotube, which had incredible strength and electrical and thermal conductivity. And eventually the first consumer products became available to the average buyer. Slowly, as more research was conducted, the first consumer products were introduced around the early 2000s. Many products such as nano silver socks, hydrophobic clothes, better sporting equipment, and improved monitor displays were introduced to the public. So, how does this topic impact on society? We got social slash political factors. Nanotechnology slash nanomaterials, they present many positive social benefits. New inventions and innovations of nanoproducts such as mobile phones with faster processors, hydrophobic clothes, they make an average person's life better. Better computers, better lifestyle. Scientists say that nanotechnology is going to improve many social fields such as healthcare, energy supply, communications, and probably defense. And they may change many workplaces all around the world. However, there are also negative impacts. In the process of research and development, large amount of energy is being consumed, and some waste is being produced. And also, there's some military applications for this tech which could be very dangerous. Also, among other possibilities such as bio enhancement, soldier enhancement, via molecular manufacturing. Ethical factors. The recent development of nanotechnology raises many ethical problems. There are many potential dangers it can create. Small explosives and weapons can be lethal, small but deadly, but they can be developed for military purposes. And then out of control nanotechnologies such as the self-replicating nanomachines or the grey goo theory, which is basically nanobots replicating themselves over and over again, and we as humans can't stop them. And lastly, another negative thing is small nano recording surveillance devices. They can be used to invade people's privacy without them knowing. This is just to name a few. Environmental factors. Since nanotechnology is a very new field, we still haven't quite worked out how to dispose of the waste materials from this field. They have a sizable effect on the environment as the cost of the research is pretty high, some economic factors there, and the energy and waste required, waste made is pretty high as well.